Good afternoon. I am Jessica Carroll, the Interim Program Manager for Measure 110, and I will be assisting Morgan with facilitating today's subcommittee. The Oversight and Accountability Council welcomes and encourages community input. Members of the public are invited to submit public comments or get on our interested parties email list by emailing oha.measure110@odhsoha.oregon.gov. That email address and more information about the council can be found on the Measure 110 OAC website. For more information or support with community engagement, please contact Sydney McConnell. OAC members have asked that OHA and other staff who are present in the meeting space introduce themselves in the chat. Please share your role with the agency, and if you are a subject matter expert, your area of expertise. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Morgan, who is our facilitator today, to read the agenda, and then Carly to take roll.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I didn't pull it up.
No worries.
All right. So after we go through attendance, we're going to have a presentation from OHA Communication, and then we will discuss a request from KATU, and that's it. And then we're closing it out.
Thanks, Morgan. And I think it's Sydney. Oops, Sydney is calling roll.
Yes, hello, everybody. If you could please, I can see who all's here, but just for the record, we'll call everybody's names and the names of the people who showed interest but are not here. So starting with Dharma, it's not here. Keisha. I see Keisha, but I don't hear Keisha. Melinda.
I'm here.
There's Keisha. Hi, Keisha. Don't see Melinda. Morgan.
Here.
Hi, Morgan. Onisha. Hey, Onisha, I saw you wave. Ron.
Here.
Hello, Ron. And then Tori and Zeb, I do not see yet, but they did express interest in being here. Okay, back to you guys. Sorry.
Thank you. All right. The first item on the agenda is a OHA presentation.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. Hi, everyone. I am not OHA Comms, but I will be presenting their material today as no one was available. So if we could please bring up those slides. And I'm letting Amy in, FYI, Sydney. Oh, these are not all of the slides. Oh, yeah, they are. Sorry.
I was going to say, that's what you sent us this morning.
No. I'm correct. Yep. No, we got it. Okay. Sorry, I was seeing something different on my screen. All right. So these are, so I just kind of want to preface this. We took the list of your suggestions that you all made in the last meeting, and we brought those suggestions to our comms team and to leadership. And these are the first steps and goals and actions that they want to take to further the message around the services being provided by Measure 110. I think everybody is in agreement that there is more that could absolutely be done to talk about the great work that is happening out in the community. And so these are their first steps in doing that. So that is where this slideshow came from. Again, I didn't make these slides. So the first part is documenting the impact of Measure 110. And the goal here is to highlight the impact of Measure 110 services, the impact that Measure 110 services are having in reducing the harms from untreated substance use on people and communities. So if you look over to the side, I know it might be kind of hard for you to read. We can send these slides out to you so you can get a better, see this a little more clearly, especially for those of you who are on phones. But there is a example of, it looks like a tweet maybe a tweet or some kind of social media post. I don't do social media, so sorry about that. Some kind of social media post regarding what Measure 110 services are doing in the community. So you can see they're provided the number of the percentage of folks who have been provided housing has increased by more than 125%. Substance use disorder treatment has increased by 44%. The number of people provided supported employment increased by 136%, and more than 10,100 people have been provided with harm reduction services. And these numbers are going to change as we get more data and as we get more reporting from our burn partners. So their goals here are to provide consistent, transparent updates on the progress of Measure 110 implementation, highlight the impact of burn programs in every part of the state, demonstrate the impact of Measure 110 through media, social media, website, and newsletters, specifically, and to include the Oregon Health News, which has 185,000 subscribers. And I heard that might be even more than the Oregonians. So that's a lot of subscribers. And provide content in multiple languages. So this is the goal, and the goal is to highlight the impact of the services, and this is the plan to do so. Next slide, please. So again, sharing information.
Can I ask a question?
You sure can.
Yeah, is there a reason why they don't mention housing? Do we not have good housing data?
It did mention housing. Can we go back to that slide real quick? I know, Ron, you're on your phone. So it says the number of people providing housing services increased by more than 125%.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. We know you're driving and you can't see it. And so no worries. All right. Next slide, please. All right. So again, looking at how we can get this really good information out to the public. OHA coordinating with burn programs to document results, right? To help us share information about how people can access burn services, right? These burn providers can really help us get that information out there. How burns are reducing harms and connecting people to treatment. How burns are helping to prevent fentanyl overdoses and reduce homelessness, and how non-traditional services are effective. And there's one example that I think most of you may be familiar with, but there was a press conference that was done where there was a couple of different burn providers there who really were able to speak about the services and how services were expanded because of Measure 110 funds. And so that is the last slide that I have, but I do want you all to know that I think that your ideas and what the kind of through lines that we heard from all of your ideas is you just want to see OHA be more active in promoting the services and the data that are out there and that are really making change. And I think that's being heard, and we have plans to do that. And so these are those first steps.
So on the tweets and press releases, is there like a timetable, like how often and when these things are going to happen?
So I don't have that answer for you, Ron, again, but I can ask that question. And so that was amount and time frame, correct?
Yeah. When and what is the timeline for releasing information? Is it weekly? Is it daily? When does it start?
Okay. Yep. I can get those questions over to that team. Onisha.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm outside. I don't know how good my connection is, but so I sent an email to Jessica and I think it was Sydney, I'm not sure. But we made like that little video I was talking about for Miracles because our entire burn got together and threw an event. And I just wanted to share it with the rest of the media team. And I know that we're not allowed to like communicate about stuff like that without, I don't know. I just wanted to communicate right legally. So I never got follow up to that email where I shared that video with you guys. Jessica.
Yeah, no, you are correct, Onisha. We will get that sent out to the rest of the committee through a BCC email. So we will do that. I do apologize that we have not done that yet. We will get that done. We can probably do that this afternoon.
Thanks.
Yeah, any other questions? I mean, I'm limited to what I can answer right now, but I would really, if there are any other questions, I would definitely bring them back. And if you would feel more comfortable providing those in writing, we can also do that.
So does the comms team have a plan to actually do these? Like a implementation timeline or anything, or?
Well, yeah, so I think that is missing from this presentation. I think that was Ron's question. So I'm going to bring that question back to them and get you the answer that I can get from them.
Okay.
All right. I think the next thing that we have on the agenda, Morgan, if you're okay, we can talk about the request from KATU.
Yeah, please.
All right, so and I just want to give you a little bit of background here. So normally, or in the past, what has happened is every time we get a media request, right, it goes to the tri-chairs, and that's how that has happened since I started. We did receive a media request from KATU, and Onisha asked if we were going to send it to the council. And I wanted to bring it here for you all, since you all are the ones who spoke up and said that you were interested in media. And I don't want to inundate this organization, but we can send it to the whole council. So we will be forwarding to this committee, if you would like, a request from KATU. KATU looks to hold a town hall in September to discuss Measure 110. And I think they're going to have a range of folks, policymakers, organizations, folks who are currently using substances, loved ones, different folks. They're asking if anyone from the Oversight and Accountability Council would be interested in participating. So rather than, us having to choose one person here, we would like to maybe just forward it to you. You all can express the interest that you want. We'll send to the rest of the council too. And whomever can express interest, and then y'all can work with KATU to, for their, I think they'll probably determine who it is, if there are multiple people who want to participate in that.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Yeah. Onisha, I saw you put your hand up and then back down. Did I answer your question?
So yeah, so I was gonna ask if it will be, because they already emailed me, the KT people, but I was asking in that email, and I don't think I got a response either, if we could extend it to the rest of the council. But you
Yeah,
already answered it, yeah.
Yeah.
So will we? I'm sorry. You will send that to the rest of the council, or that's just going for us, the media subcommittee?
I'm going to send it to everyone.
Everybody.
I'll
Okay.
send it to everybody on the council, and then whomever's interested can reach out, and then, and so I think it might be fair to talk about that process that we have had in place, where we just essentially send you have to understand, and just from our point of view, when we send media requests, like sometimes it's like a request for comment. If we send that to 20 people and have to wait for 20 people to respond, we might lose the opportunity to make a comment, right? And so I think it's worth thinking about. We don't have to decide it here, but it's worth thinking about if that sending it to the tri-chairs first or to the media subcommittee first is the way you all want to continue to just so sorry, Amy's making me laugh. If that's the way that you want to continue to how we can do this in a way that we don't kind of lose the opportunity for you all to give comment, but also make it fair for folks. So something to think about. Onisha.
Yeah, I think that most of us joined the committee because we wanted to be involved in the policy creation and the big push to get the stories out, because there was a lag in getting the stories out to tell our side of the story about how positive Measure 110 is in our communities. However, I think when opportunity,
Oh, Onisha, you got muted.
all right, somebody's calling me, for council members to be a part of using their voice to be storytellers, I think things like that should be open to the entire council, because some people on the council may be better at it than us. Like, we could be great at, well, not me, because I'm a ham, but maybe there's somebody on this in this media group who may say, oh, I think so and so on the council would, like Miss Carolyn would be a great representative to speak to tribal situations in her area, or, I think Hubert would be a great person to speak to, how this is affecting Black men, or whatever, or everybody here may be the only ones that want to speak. But I think for those specific things, it's fair and it makes sense to utilize the whole entire council to use their personal story and their personal voice, because those that are here on the subcommittee have made the commitment to be a part of policy creation and creating policy to get the stories pushed out. I think that's where we should take precedence, but I could be all the way wrong.
No, I think you're right, Onisha. I think where it gets a little sticky is oftentimes, and anybody who's ever dealt with a magazine or a newspaper, if they're writing a story, they might come to us, and be like, oh, you have, 1 day to respond. So sometimes you don't, and this isn't always the case. Like this KTU folks, they came to us, in August, and they're not doing this till September. So there's plenty of time to kind of figure it out. But for those instances where they're like, oh, we're running a story tomorrow, is there a quote? It can be hard to kind of get folks to respond sometimes. So that's why I think
And
yeah.
I totally agree. And even for those of us on the subcommittee, it can be, because that happened to me, right? And I couldn't even really reach out to OHA staff and ask for advice on how to answer them, because that's illegal, right? Even though I was looking for that guidance. So that brings up another question. It isn't illegal to talk to the people on the subcommittee, but there isn't really a system put in place for us to communicate with each other. Like me
Oh,
sharing that video, I couldn't share it with everybody, and now I sent that video to you guys like a month ago, and it still hasn't been shared. That question came up to me from the some guy. They were doing a story, and they were asking a question about us funding. They said we didn't fund any harm reduction or treatment service, inpatient treatment services. And that wasn't really accurate. And when I went to OHA staff, they couldn't legally advise me on what to say. So I kind of like had to do a little research to play catch up to try to figure out what to say. But without a system in place for us to communicate quickly, I think that's a missing hole we're missing with the whole media subcommittee.
yeah, and unfortunately, the public meeting, like the laws still apply to this committee. Like you still can't do serial communication. That still applies even to the subcommittee because you are a part of the larger OAC committee. So unfortunately, that isn't the case. And again, I apologize that the video was not shared. That video, that was a missed opportunity on our part to do what we needed to do as the Measure 110 program. And I
That
do.
wasn't shade, Jessica. I was just using that for an example.
No, I know. It's fine. Hey, we missed it, right? And when we miss it, that is the case, and we're always here to do better. And so you're helping us do better. So no worries there, Onisha. So okay, so it sounds like what we're gonna do. Got a couple of like homework items here. Number one, we're going to forward that video Number two, we are also going to forward to the entire council this town hall inquiry. And in the future, when we get a request for media, it sounds like, sorry, one second. It sounds like when we get a request for media, we will inform this committee, right, through a BCC email, so as not to create a serial communication, and allow you all to respond to those. And then if you have an idea that somebody might be better, if you want to send that to us, we will get that communication out to that person as well. Does that make sense? Did I just sum that up correctly? Because I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, I got a thumbs up. I got a nod from Morgan. Okay, good.
Yeah, I just have one clarification on something Onisha said, which is that she said that it was illegal to communicate with OHA staff about media requests.
So no, you can.
I'm just.
No, so it isn't illegal to communicate with OHA staff on media requests. I think I know what Onisha's talking about. I think what is important is allowing OHA staff to get you into touch with comms. We as Measure 110 staff don't communicate with with the media. Like I don't talk to the media. I talk to the media through comms.
Right.
There's a right. So I think that's the difference. No, but you all have an opportunity if you ever want to talk.
We can communicate so Onisha can communicate directly with comms though, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's hard sometimes because sometimes you get a request at, 5:30 on a Friday, right? And, so yes, but absolutely comms is available to you all. And specifically for when we look at this KATU request, those of you who are interested in it, you have the opportunity to reach out to comms or reach out to us and we'll do like a connection to comms. And that way, if you want any support around talking points or whatever, or how to tell your story or anything like that, you can always talk to comms. And while they can't give you the words to say, they can help you, put them in a they often help me put things in a cohesive sentence because I'm really bad at that, obviously. All right. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more. I have a couple more.
Couple more. All right, let's go.
So in the list of things that OHA is going to do, you said that there was one there, that there's already been a press conference with OHA with providers and a press conference. Is that going to happen again? And how often will that happen?
So I don't have the answer to that specifically for a press conference, like when that would happen or if it would be a press conference. The picture that we were showing was from a press conference.
Right, because, because Onisha's right, getting provider stories and getting the personal stories of success of individuals is really important. But I'm just kind of which led me to the thought of you said that Measure 110 staff can't interact with the media?
Yeah,
so does that mean Ebony and Jackie can't do press releases on Measure 110?
Oh, no. No, I was talking about our program staff, right? And I was speaking to a very specific example. Jackie and Ebony can and do talk to the press. And so that is definitely open to them.
And they can do press conference, like they could, theoretically, Jackie and Ebony and two tri-chairs and two members of the subcommittee could hold a press conference on Measure 110 and invite the media and just have have stories and providers and a whole thing if they wanted to.
There is the, I don't know that I can answer that. I don't think there is any restriction for anybody to do a press conference on, at the level of Ebony and Jackie.
Okay, right. That's what I was just trying to get to that. Because I'm interested in leadership, not just the council. If the Measure 110 staff isn't able to do it, then OHA behavioral health leadership should definitely be involved with this. And I'm just trying to figure out how that's going to happen, or if that's going to happen.
Yeah, so great
How they're
question.
going to coordinate with the council to, you know, to be putting out a, you know, combined coherent message.
All right, great question. We will get that answer to you. Did you have one more?
No, that's it. That's it for now.
Okay, for now. Well, and if any more come up, feel free to shoot them to me in email. And we will get those answers to you just as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right. With that, Morgan.
So I was thinking that we could maybe talk about the agenda for next month, if anyone wants to add something, so, or what should we be discussing next month? Or if there's anything else we need to talk about now.
And this is just for media, right? Or is this, right?
Yes.
For the media subcommittee.
Media subcommittee, okay. You
I think
know,
it's real important
here-
for us to have a.
Ron,
I think it's real.
Ron,
Sorry.
I'm
Hey,
still
Nancy.
talking, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron, I'm still gabbing real quick, but over here in Eastern Oregon, I haven't seen a lot of advertisement or any kind of media at all about the burn. And one thing I noticed too is that even our tribal members here, which I work with a lot, do not have a clue about the burn. They don't even have a burn on our reservation. So we need probably to figure something out how we want to do that, because I think awareness is key in the success of this. And I know that just from what my experience out here as a person in the community, and always trying to refer people there to contact your local burn, contact your local, what is that? What is that? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, where, can you remind me what city you're in, Amy? What town?
I'm in Pendleton.
Pendleton, okay. That's my.
And the Hermiston area, you know, Pendleton, Hermiston, we got LeGrand, we've got all this stuff around here. I don't know what they're doing over that way with their burn, but I just know that I mean, people don't even know.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's really important. I'm gonna view, so like Amy, like just to really dig into this point, because I do, so you're essentially saying, so this isn't necessarily services or the success of Measure 110, but literally people in need to be aware of what's available to them. And so you want to publicize.
Well, because it's going to create, right? If people don't know, then they're not aware, then they can't utilize services. We don't get the correct effect of what a burn is doing in the area, correct?
Absolutely.
So in essence, then, you know, I know for a fact the burn has made an impact on the people I've referred because I follow up with them, you know, significantly, but people have no clue. And so that's kind of, you know, and in the bigger cities and the more, God, I want to call them metropolitan areas or whatever you call them, sorry. In the bigger places, they're, you know, we hick folks out here don't talk right. I can't think of my words today. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not as pronounced out here. It's just not getting what it needs to get.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something we do or what, but
yeah, I definitely hear you. So what I would love to do here is maybe ask comms if they have a particular strategy to increase burn utilization outside of the metropolitan areas or wherever there's a deficiency of information. So if we could maybe go back to the OHA comms team, because I didn't really see what Amy just described in the plan that they had.
Yep, we will add that to what we bring back to the comms team. Thank you, Morgan and Amy.
Keisha,
Yeah, I'm just wondering about how I don't know if it's only in Portland in the metro area, but how they that fentanyl possession is now a misdemeanor. So it's not, that's something that's not decrimmed anymore. So I'm just wondering about the communication around that and how things change around that.
my understanding is that the threshold was lowered to a gram, but not that it was misdemeanored automatically. It was just put on parity with heroin.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, and that's statewide, that's state to state. So you can still, and they lowered it, they changed the way the units were being counted because law enforcement didn't know what to do with the blues, right? So they were sometimes counting them as oxycodone or pills or the weight because the measurements were by weight. And so they changed it. So now I think it's how many pills, Ron? 5?
Yeah, it's a number of pills.
Yeah.
Under a certain number of pills is still an E-class violation. Over that is a misdemeanor.
Yeah. So they changed the weight. So it's no longer counting by weight for the pills. It's counting by pill, which makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And then reducing the amount of powder down to 1 gram for the class E, but anything over that is a misdemeanor. But that's exactly the same as how heroin had already been. Keisha? Keisha, did you still have your hand up?
It's not let me, I think it did let me lower it.
Cool. And then Ron, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, that was it. I was trying to review the law in my mind as you were talking. That was it. And you reminded me, so that was it. But yeah, that was one of the things. And then, of course, the fentanyl education bill that was signed by the governor, which is kind of a media story, which is that Keisha and I were both at the signing last week with the governor's office, with Governor Kochek, where she signed a number of SUD-related bills, behavioral health bills with 988 and the fentanyl education and the harm reduction bill, the fentanyl bill, or a number of bills that were signed. And it seems like, there was no, and so there are OAC members attending that, and that seems like that's an actual story that should be getting pushed out by comms right now.
Yeah, I think that probably speaks to a wider point is we need to understand what the actual workflow is between us, the media subcommittee, and OHSU comms department. If we have something that makes a good press release or a story or, drafting copy for the social media, how do we get that on the menu for OHA's comms department?
Right, Ron.
There's a picture of Keisha and I flanking the governor as she's signing 2513.
And Ron, this is Kristen. That is handled, that kind of ceremonial bill signings and such, that process is handled by the governor's office. And I have seen those pictures and those releases go out, and some news and media around those bills. So that did happen over the weekend.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, Ron. I was thinking because we had our council meeting the day after, and I was like, should I say something? Should I not say something? Should I bring it up or what?
If I can just jump in and say you are always welcome to bring in anything like that. I think I also saw the pictures and I don't know, they're amazing. and it was super cool that you two were there. I don't know that I knew it that Wednesday, but I did see it afterwards. So if you ever want to bring, like, you can always email us stuff to put on the agenda. Of course, it goes through
Yeah.
the tri-chairs, but absolutely, please do that.
Yeah, because that went it surrounded that work group we did with Representative Noose.
No,
That we all a
No,
part of.
no, yeah.
Yeah, from that work group work that me, Ron, you, and some more people are a part of around Measure 110 and
Keisha, Onisha.
Revamping. Yeah.
yeah, no, that was great work that you all did, and I'm so glad that you were front and center on that.
Yeah, but the invite was very specific too, and it was like no plus ones, and this cannot be transferable, and like yeah, it was like direct invite. So
Untransferable invite. Oh, I love it.
All right. Well, what now, Jessica? Nothing?
Well, I think we have a bunch of homework on our end.
Okay.
It sounds like what we can do. Oh, do we want to decide who's gonna chair the next meeting?
Let's look at the date.
facilitate or chair.
Sorry, facilitate. Um,
Yeah, what's the date on it?
let's see. When
September
is
20th.
How often are we doing these?
monthly?
Monthly?
September 20th.
September 20th.
September 20th. Okay, that is a rare day where I'm home and not traveling. If I could do it again, if people want.
I can hop in. Yeah,
Or Keisha.
rotate.
All right, Keisha, going once, going twice, facilitator next time.
I love that. I love that vote. I love the way you just did that. That's very efficient. Okay, I will not be here, but Kristen will be here for y'all.
Cool.
Okay, well, we have a lot to work on our end. If there is nothing else,
Yeah.
Morgan?
Yeah, I think we're good to go for I'm just, again, want to ask about the agenda for next week. So if we have ideas on anything we want to talk about specific to the media subcommittee, who do we send that to get on the agenda?
You just send that to Sydney McConnell and Carly Cunningham. I almost forgot your last name, Carly. I'm so sorry. It's right there in front of me. Sydney and Carly are your go-tos for everything like that. Clearly don't send it to me because I lost Onisha's video. So send it to send it to Sydney and Carly. I can't be trusted.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I think that's all we got, y'all. We'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.